Welcome back to the 2001 Nissan Frontier project. This was a truck I picked up for about $2,500 and I've put some cosmetic work into it. I wanted to start off by showing a hose test on the canvas topper back there, just in case anybody's interested. You can see it just rolling right off. I coated that with some Scotch Guard. Alright, just had to turn off the hose. But yeah, I coated it in Scotch Guard. You can see it's just bouncing the water off. The top there is some poolage, which I don't love. I'll probably have to put a spine up there on the center portion of this DIY PVC topper, but we'll just have to see. I might just determine how much water gets caught up here versus if I need to actually put that ridge up there, but it looks like I probably will. Other than that, I just went ahead and sprayed off the truck. You could see how well the water is beating on the paint because I did a 3-step polish on this, so the paint's in pretty good shape. I have also restored the plastics with the Cerakote, which is probably the best plastic restoration out there. See right there, that line, that is where the Cerakote stops. And I also got some Chemical Brothers tire cleaner on this really baked in tire brake dust, so you can't scrape that off at all, and you can see that half the rim is really clean. I did it on purpose just so I could show it off in a video. Then on this one, other side, I didn't do any. You can see how dirty it is. The other wheel looked exactly like this, and even in the places where I didn't wash the other wheel, it's still a lot cleaner than this. So now that I've done a video, I'm gonna go ahead and clean it. Another one that I've done is put these new headlights in. These things are really nice. It brings the truck up to a more contemporary styling. If you were to see this truck on the streets, you would definitely think it was newer than a 2001, or at least it was maintained really well. Also added this bullet antenna. It's just kind of quirky, and why not? I'm not huge into like touting guns or anything. I also have a smaller antenna I might put on there, but for the time being, it's kind of cool. It just kind of gives it a more mean look, especially with the green camper on the back. Kind of gives it like a military look. Over here I actually did a paint restoration. You could see this line here. This is still needing to get sanded down. You can see right there, I didn't get quite all of the clear coat, but there's a bunch of clear coat failure right here, so I just sprayed it with some black spray paint and did some 2K clear coat. I wish that I had more to paint with the 2K clear coat, but you know, I only had this spot, and then behind here, might be able to go into the camper to show you. Let's see here. Yeah, you could kind of see it. Right here is a repair from a rust spot that was getting really bad, and you could see that the water is still coming in here. I'm hoping that I clean the rust out enough underneath this weather stripping that it'll, you know, hold up for a few years. But for the time being, I just grinded out this portion, backfilled it with some Great Stuff foam, and then I bondoed over the surface, hit it with some standard Krylon, and then 2K clear coat. You can kind of see where the clear coat is really hard. I'm not going to really do anything to fade this. And then on the inside, I'll show you the strapping system on this topper. There is hooks under there, you can see them. And on this back portion, since I put some T's here, the way that this strap is actually compressing this whole system, it's compressing it down and back and also together. So there's a bunch of forces at play here, and it's actually pushing it back into the cab. So it's actually stabilizing here, and then it's stabilizing on this surface, and then it's also compressing this whole member here together so that the entire system is under compression, and that makes it really strong. Same on this side, and then on the back here we just have one strap direction going downwards into the hook, which is sufficient. This whole thing shakes the truck whenever I move it or try to pull on it. It's kind of hard to do while I'm in here, but let me crawl out of here. I guess another thing to note is these paracord ties are also compressing this canvas topper so that it's pulling it all together and stabilizing the whole thing. And without these, this whole thing would be really floppy. So the paracord's really important in this whole assembly. The one negative about this system is that I kind of have to have this PVC at the tailgate. So whenever I drop it, there's still a PVC going across, but not the end of the world. So go ahead and close it. And then the last thing that I did was actually underneath, I applied a linseed, boiled linseed oil coating to the frame. You can kind of see how it's got like a more of a matte finish to it now. All of that was surface rust and oxidizing pretty badly, so I went ahead and applied some boiled linseed oil to the frame the best I could. I used just like a small pump sprayer, and it really worked pretty nicely. But I also finally got the audio system all fixed up. In one of my previous videos, I was talking about how the left side was out, the speaker was out in the door, and I tracked it back to this amp and repaired it for a very short period of time, but then it actually failed within like a day. So I thought I might be able to get away with using the amp, but I ended up replacing the amp with a newer one, and the newer amps are like a quarter of the size, so I could actually use this seat now as far as like moving it back and forth, and the audio seems to be working, so that's good. The cab, pretty much it. Tint's good. I added these rain guards, but aside from that, the only other issues right now that I'm having with it are the AC is kind of hit or miss, so I'm gonna have to take it to a specialist to just probably refill it. And the transmission still sort of got some delayed engagement. I have a solenoid for it that I'm gonna try, but if that doesn't work, then I'll probably just drive it into the ground or resell it. We'll see if I determine whether or not I could resell this for some profit. I might just post it on Facebook and see what interest I get in it to kind of experiment. It'd be kind of cool to do some car flips, but that's it for this video. Let me know what you think of the 2001 Nissan Frontier project. It is really coming together. I really like the way that back topper came out, and just generally how clean this truck is. The black color is awesome, and it just looks good. Oh, I forgot to tell you, I went ahead and plastid-dipped this rear bumper, which was really rusty. You could see how well that came out. It seems like it's holding up pretty well, and we'll just see how long it holds. No real prep work involved in the plastid-dip. I just kind of wiped down the bumper and sprayed it. We'll see you on the next one.